AnimeIndecision.
Greetings, I'm Demonac.
And I'm Orestria, and this is AI Tries Ajin.
Yep, we're going to try watching this series as it comes out, and every episode we're going to give a bit of a review, and this is a very important first one. Do we even think the show is worth continuing on with? So that's what we're going to figure out.
Yeah. And it's also worth noting, because this is the first episode, we're not going to go into as much detail as we will with future episodes.
No, we don't want to spoil anything.
We want you to have the chance to decide whether you want to watch this show. I don't know about you, I don't usually do this. I don't usually watch shows as they come out, especially not new shows.
No, I do it a little bit more now that there's Crunchyroll, because I can get the episodes a week behind. So, but the thing is, I don't know which shows to watch most of the time. I need to find out whether they're likely to be any good to me.
Well, that's the thing. I find it really hard to tell from descriptions whether a show's going to be awesome or whether a show's going to be awful. So I usually wait 5 or 6 weeks until, the reviews are kind of in.
Yeah, and anime is just really bad for that, because no matter what the premise is, the premise could be awesome, the premise could be the stupidest thing you ever heard, and the same goes for the art, the name, almost everything about it. It's not indicative. It could sound like the worst thing ever and be the best, and vice versa.
Yeah, and a lot of times the names literally make no sense. Like, we have watched all of Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
Why is it called Kill la Kill?
I think the law is because the mother is French. But anyway.
So we're going to watch it episode by episode, and if at some point we decide this show is not worth our time, we might just stop.
Right, so this time around, what we're watching is Ajin. What did you think? What was your first impressions of it?
I was kind of the one who decided that we should watch this one.
Yep.
And it's because I'd seen some of the imagery from the manga in stores, and it looked really cool, and I found out that the manga is pretty popular. So there was a lot of hype about this show.
Okay.
I haven't read the manga myself, but I thought I'll try this show because I often don't have time to read manga anymore.
Well, you suggested it. I'd seen about one cover image, so I was going into it about as blind as is possible.
I will say I kind of thought the show was going to go different than it did, and I mean that in a good way. So the premise is there are people in the world who are actually unkillable.
They're indestructible, which is a good start. That's like one of my favorite superpowers.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that means they never die, like they're eternal, like they don't die of old age. I don't know if that's true.
It sounds like they haven't been around or at least known about for that long, so we don't know.
Yeah. And they only know of something like 46 of them in the world.
Yeah.
But the only way to tell if someone's an Ajin is to try to friggin' kill them and see them not die. So There could be lots of them out there.
Yeah, so no, it's a perfectly workable premise, and the first episode I found was mostly set up.
That's kind of to be expected. If there's anyone who doesn't know that they're going to explain what Ajin are, and then we're going to find out that the main character is an Ajin, congrats, you've never watched an anime before.
Yeah, definitely. So I think my main thing is the first episode. It was fine. It was mostly set up, so it didn't blow me away with awesomeness, but it definitely seems like it has some potential. And there was nothing about it that was a big red flag. There was nothing about it that says, "Oh, this show is going to suck" or "It's going to annoy me" or anything like that. I thought, there was just nothing negative about it. So that's a really good sign. I want to see the next episode and find out where they're actually going.
Yeah. It was quite competently done.
Very.
And I actually did the scene where we found out he was an Ajin. You're going to see it coming a mile away.
Yes.
But the way it's done, I thought was very good.
Yep, it was a pretty good reveal.
The actual watching him not die was actually very effective. I actually found it creepy.
It's definitely, I think the show is going to go grittier, at least at the beginning.
Yeah, and there's a pattern I've seen in anime a lot. When the main character is some kind of non-human thing that looks like a human, we find out about the non-human people. We find out the main character is a non-human people, or he becomes a non-human person, and then the rest of the series is kind of like him trying to hide that he's not human.
Yeah.
Ajin is not doing
It
that.
does not look like that's their plan.
One reason I will say I'm excited for the show is I honestly don't know what's going to happen in episode 2.
No, I have some theories. I don't think I'm gonna bother sharing them because they're very early formed theories. But
Well, there's lots of ways episode 2 could go.
yeah, that's the thing. We really don't know.
I'm excited by the fact that I honestly don't know.
Yeah. So what did you think of the animation?
So this is not traditional animation. This is some kind of CGI cell shading. I don't know.
It's sort of the heavily cell shaded CG, 2D like CG look. So
Yeah, like I'm not even really sure how to describe
well,
that.
it's getting more and more common. They use CG in this way to, I'm sure it lowers the production costs tremendously
Sure it does.
compared to traditional animation. And then there's a question of how close they're going to try and look to traditional animation. And I think this show's angle is that they're not going exactly, they're not trying to fake it as looking like traditional animation, but they're using traditional sort of art styles overall. Like they want to
Yeah.
use shadow in a natural sort of way. Again, I don't know that really it's going to be gritty, but they're going for a more realistic look as far as anime are concerned. It's not looking like a giant massive CG all the time.
I also haven't seen anyone with blue or purple hair yet.
No, again, they seem to be
That's
going
a
pretty
big sign
realistic.
about what kind of show you're watching.
So yeah, so this compared to something like Knights of Sidonia, this is nowhere near that level of harshness and just the stark lighting that they have all the time. But it doesn't, at least so far, doesn't have any of that video gamey sort of look that you might get from another cell shaded show like Ruby or something like that.
Well, see, for me, this was my first encounter with this animation style.
Yeah.
Um, Subsequently, I ended up looking up Knights of Sidonia because you mentioned it was the same style. And I will say Ajin does it much, much better.
Yeah. I think there may be people, because again, this is a newer sort of thing that you have this art style, and I think there will be people that maybe you look at it and it just hurts your face. I believe that people are out there who would feel that way, but if it doesn't hurt your face, just the style itself, I think you'll find is very well executed.
For me, I found it didn't bother me during action scenes. Not that there was a lot of those.
Yeah.
And I think if you took a screen capture of a moment, most of the time you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, if it's a relatively still moment, you're not going to notice the CG.
It just bothered me during things like walking or subtle movements.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll get used to it. It is my first experience with it at all.
I definitely don't notice anymore. And again, they definitely seem to be going very high quality and stuff. So yeah, I think this one looks like a keeper. We're definitely going to keep watching it after this and see where it goes from here.
Episode 2 and maybe episode 3 are probably going to tell us what we're actually going to be watching.
Yeah. So that's what we thought of Ajin from the first episode, and we're going to keep watching it, and hopefully you'll keep watching us, and we'll find out where it goes together. And then, especially after this episode, when we have more to discuss, we can start discussing it in the comments, find out what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. You can watch along. That will help you to understand the videos, because in the future we'll be a lot more in detail about what happened in the episode. And we'd love to hear your opinion of the show.
So that's the first installment of AI Tries, and yeah, give us a like, and if you haven't subscribed to AnimeIndecision, you can do it now.
See you next time.
Next time.